Have you ever experienced that moment right before you're spiraling? You're stood in the kitchen, you're scrolling on your phone, you're just living your life. And then a thought lands, you're behind, everyone else is doing better, you'll never get it right. And you didn't choose it, it just appeared like a storm cloud in your mind. And then the worst part is, we actually believe it. Now what if I told you that there's one simple question that Buddhist monks have used for centuries that can dissolve your thought on the spot? And no, it's not an affirmation or a mantra. It's something far more powerful. So stay with me, because once you learn this, you will never look at a negative thought the same way ever again. Welcome back, friend. I really appreciate all your likes, comments and subscribes, and I'm really happy that you're just getting lots of value from these videos. Now today I'm going to be sharing one simple question that I discovered this week and which stopped me going on a negative thought spiral instantly. Now I normally create 3 of these videos a week, but for some reason this week I was in a deep depression. I was full of self-doubt and hopelessness, because even though I've spent years doing this inner work, I sometimes get caught out by this as well. So I tried my usual tools: meditation, a walk in nature, journaling, reflection, listening to empowering music. But every time I slowed down, that voice just kept coming back. Maybe you know that voice. It sounds like the truth, but it tastes like poison. And I kept asking myself, how do I stop thinking like this? But now I realise I was asking the wrong question, because it wasn't about stopping these thoughts. It was about seeing something deeper. Now things really came to a head for me when I came to the conclusion that I don't want to live like this anymore. And I pulled myself apart because I make these videos to help people, and I was feeling helpless myself. So I started to explore and find out what exactly I could do to get myself out of this hole. And I discovered this one simple question that Buddhist monks have been using for centuries. And this one question stopped me in my tracks. It stopped the spiral, and it made the path clearer for me. Now most people try to stop negative thoughts by replacing them. Just think positively, say a mantra. But here's the truth that most people don't talk about. The more we fight a thought, the louder it gets. Buddhism teaches us that the mind is like water. The more you thrash around trying to control it, the more it churns up. But if you sit with it, watch it, and let it move without grabbing onto it, something miraculous happens. The thought loses power. And all of a sudden, you're no longer in the thought. You're just watching it. So this week I started studying the mind the way the Buddhist monks do. I stopped asking, how do I silence this thought? And I started asking instead, why is this thought here? Where does it want to take me? And who would I be if I didn't follow it? I read the teachings from the masters who sat in silence for years, not to escape the mind, but to understand it. And nearly all of them pointed to this one question. A question they didn't use to fix thought, but instead to see through it. One question that pierces illusion and creates space, that sets you free. And I'm going to give you that question in just a moment. But before I do, let's just sit quietly for 20 seconds. So close your eyes. Bring to mind that one thought that's been haunting you lately. Maybe it whispers, maybe it screams. Either way, it's stealing your peace. And now, with that thought in your awareness, ask this question. Is this thought leading me to peace? And that's it. Not is it true, not is this thought mine, just is this thought leading me to peace? And suddenly you'll see the thought for what it is. A train you don't have to board, a cloud you don't have to chase, and a voice you no longer have to obey. And when we ask ourselves this question, we create space between who we are and what we think. And that space is everything. That space is freedom. So now I'll ask you, what thought are you going to question today? What belief have you been carrying that leads you away from peace? And what would happen if you practice this every time a thought tried to take away your power. Are you willing to try this for 3 days? Let me know and leave a comment below to tell me what thought you're ready to question. If this video helped you to breathe deeper, please share it with someone who needs it. Sometimes the smallest shift comes from the quietest question. Thank you for watching today and have a great day.